Bluey has many amazing characters who simply disappeared after a while, but did you know that many of them could show up again in the show's 4th season? Winnie. Winnie is a friend that Bluey made while playing at the park. The two of them formed a very strong bond, and we saw this friendship being born in the episode Cafe, which was really nice because it also ended up making Bandit become friends with Winnie's dad. Unfortunately, after that episode, in which the character had quite a bit of focus, Winnie didn't appear in many other episodes. She only appeared in her introduction episode in the 2nd season, and then showed up in 2 episodes of the 3rd season. Because of that, many people even forget that she exists, while her fans miss her in most episodes of Bluey. The truth is that it wouldn't hurt at all for Winnie to appear in more episodes in the 4th season. On the contrary, it would be super fun to see her interacting more with Bluey and the other kids. Today, we're going to find out who the 13 disappeared characters in Bluey are that could appear in the 4th season. Get comfy and come with us, because another Cinewave is about to start. Jean-Luc. Jean-Luc is a very unique case because he became one of the most popular characters in the series, even though he only appeared in a single episode. That's because this episode, called Camping, was truly very emotional. Unfortunately, one of the reasons it was so emotional is that the story ended with Jean-Luc leaving and going back to Canada. That's why he doesn't appear in future episodes. However, that is far from meaning that Jean-Luc can't return, especially because the true ending of the episode showed him reuniting with Bluey after a few years. If the 4th season has episodes focused on the future of the Healer family, then it makes perfect sense for Jean-Luc to show up in those stories. Even if that's not the case, an older version of the Labrador could very well be the star of an episode set in Canada, maybe to show how much he missed Bluey when he returned home and had to learn how to deal with that. Gruber. This German Shepherd didn't just disappear from the series. His disappearance was completely unexplained and mysterious. After all, Gruber studied at the same school as Bluey and appeared there in the episode Mums and Dads. But after that, he never showed up there again. Then, Gruber stopped appearing in any episode at all, making it seem like he truly vanished. Seriously, this disappearance was so strange that many fans even started believing he had gone to live in Germany with his family, since Gruber is a German name and at least one of his parents must have come from there. However, this theory seems to have been disproven thanks to a surprise appearance by Gruber in the episode Pass the Parcel from the 3rd season. He is only seen in the background of the scene, but his presence reveals that his family still lives in Australia, in the city of Brisbane. Gruber just doesn't attend the same school as Bluey anymore for some reason, and that means he could very well return with a bigger role in the 4th season, maybe running into Bluey at the park or something like that. It would also be a great opportunity to explain why he changed schools in the first place. Alfie. In most episodes, it's Bluey and Bingo, or their parents, who solve the problem of the day. But in the quiet game, the one who ends up solving everything at the end is Alfie, a young guy who was on his very first day working at a toy store when he managed to figure out Bluey and Bingo's riddles and discover which toy they wanted. The character seems to have been created just for that episode, since he never appeared again after that. Still, a lot of people liked him, and we all know how the production team's plans for the series can change over time, so he could definitely end up appearing more in the next season. It's easy to imagine other episodes involving the toy store, maybe with Bluey and Bingo visiting the place again, this time with some friends. Or the episode could focus on Alfie himself and his misadventures as a store clerk, showing how he always tries to stay optimistic despite everything. Alfie! 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 Bentley and Zara. When we talk about the Healer family's neighbors, we always think of Lucky, Chucky, and Judo, but we rarely remember Bentley and Zara, the twin sisters who live in the same neighborhood as them and also study in the same class as Bingo. They do appear in a few episodes, but the level of focus they get is minimal, to the point where many people who watch the show simply forget that they exist, which is a shame. It would be really nice if that changed in the 4th season, especially because they're twins, and there are lots of stories that could be created around that idea, but of course, without limiting the two of them to just that one trait. Another cool idea would be to show the two of them becoming closer friends with Bingo, who studies with them. See how much potential the two of them have that could be explored in the 4th season. Which of these characters do you most want to see getting more focus in the 4th season? Leave a comment down below with #disappeared so we can see your opinion. Hospital Kid. Some Bluey episodes know exactly how to catch us off guard and make us emotional, and one that does this really well is Mr. Monkey Jocks, with its ending that shows shows a sick child receiving the stuffed toy that Bluey and Bingo donated. This child appeared a few other times in episodes released after that, which makes us feel relieved knowing that he didn't lose his life because of a medical issue. Still, all of his appearances were small, special moments without much importance, and they happened only a handful of times. Since this series loves to make us cry, an episode focused on this child, explaining why he had to go to the hospital, is an opportunity that shouldn't be missed. Is his illness something simple, or does he actually have a condition that could put his life at risk? Grandpa Bob. All Bluey fans know Grandpa Bob, Bandit's father, but the truth is that he appeared very little throughout the entire series. After showing up in the first season, he completely disappeared in the second and third seasons. He only appeared in photos and flashbacks, which made the theory that Grandpa Bob had passed away between the first and second seasons become quite popular. That theory ended up losing all meaning when Bob finally appeared in The Sign, right at the very end of the third season, when it was revealed that he had been on a self-discovery trip in India. This makes it clear that in the fourth season, he should appear much more often. After all, he's not traveling anymore. Get ready to see him in every family gathering episode of the next season. Dougie. Turtle Boy is another emotional episode that introduces a character who didn't get any more focus after that. In this case, Dougie. He is a deaf puppy who visits the same park as Bingo and plays with the same toy she usually plays with. The two of them have a lot in common, but they don't actually meet in that episode. Everyone is just waiting for the day when an episode is released in which Dougie and Bingo finally meet, and the fourth season could very well make that happen. Unlike Jean-Luc, Dougie didn't move far away, so he could easily become friends with Bingo and turn into a recurring part of the Bluey cast. It's even easy to imagine him starting to attend the same school as Bingo, which makes a lot of sense since it would allow for an episode about the importance of including people with disabilities, with Bingo's school providing the necessary accommodations so that someone who is deaf, like Dougie, can learn properly and interact with other kids. Chloe's brother. Bluey doesn't focus that much on babies, at least for now, since we've already talked in other videos about how there's a strong chance that the next season will introduce several new babies to the show. But there is one baby who has already appeared in the series and who should become more important over time. Chloe's younger brother. We don't know much about him. Seriously, we have no idea what his name is, and we've never seen his full face. What we have seen is him inside a stroller, which shows that we're talking about a very young pup. But here's the thing, in Bluey, time passes and the kids grow up. It's possible that in the fourth season, Chloe's little brother will be a bit older and might appear more often, even to play with some of the babies that will almost certainly be born in the near future, such as Brandy's baby, since she's already pregnant, and Frisky and Rad's baby. Even though it hasn't been confirmed that Frisky is already pregnant, the two of them just got married and made it clear that they want to become parents. Hercules. Hercules is a great example of a tough kid who isn't actually mean. Very few kids are truly bad in real life, and many of them can become good companions if they're raised properly, which is exactly what we saw happen in the episode Circus. Hercules started out bossy, but later learned to respect the other kids' wishes and to play with them in a healthy way. That second season episode was the only one in which Hercules appeared, which is a shame. He could become more than just a former bully if he shows up again starting in the fourth season, especially because his strength, greater than that of most kids, could lead to some really funny scenes if he keeps using it during playtime to do fun things, like carrying his friends on his shoulders. Don't forget, subscribing is the easiest way to make sure you never miss any of our videos. Maynard. Do you remember Maynard, Grandpa Mort's friend? We hope so, because this old guy has a lot of charisma and is another character who deserves to show up more in the future, especially since he only appeared in 3 episodes and never really got a true moment in the spotlight. If things stay this way, it'll be a huge waste of potential. Old folks who believe in aliens are always hilarious, and that's exactly what Maynard is. Can you imagine an episode focused on him investigating an extraterrestrial mystery that, in reality, has nothing to do with aliens at all and is just some funny coincidence that led him to come up with a bunch of wild theories? Rocco. Usually the friends Bandit interacts with the most are his neighbor Pat and his brother Stripe, but he has other friends too, and one of them is Rocco. He appeared far less than the others and never got the same level of focus, which is a shame since he's considered one of Bandit's closest friends. This even makes us wonder if Bluey's dad isn't all that popular after all. That issue would easily be solved if Rocco started showing up more often in the fourth season. Enjoying it? Then click one of the 2 videos we left on the screen and keep going with us. See you next time!